Have you ever replayed the same conversation in your head 100 times, wondering if you said the wrong thing or if the other person misunderstood you? You might question whether they secretly hate you now, while everyone else seems to move on effortlessly with their day. Yet you remain trapped inside that single moment, endlessly thinking, replaying, and analyzing every detail again and again. The strange truth is that most people believe overthinking simply means caring too much about things. However, that is far from reality. Overthinking occurs when your mind transforms into a prison disguised as a protection system. It convinces you that it is helping, preparing you for every scenario, and keeping you safe from harm. Slowly but surely, it begins to steal your peace of mind. Sometimes it even steals your life, not in a physical sense, but emotionally and quietly, day after day. While you stay busy thinking about life, the real world continues moving forward without your full participation, leaving you disconnected from the present. You may have experienced this struggle directly in everyday situations. You want to send a simple message to someone, but you rewrite it multiple times to make it perfect. You feel inspired to start something new, yet your brain immediately generates countless reasons why it might fail. When facing a decision, every option turns into a potential problem. Every possibility feels like a looming threat, and every future scenario appears destined for disaster. Before long, hours slip away unnoticed, followed by days and sometimes even years. This does not happen because you lack desire to move forward, but because your mind refuses to release its tight grip. The painful realization is that most overthinkers are not weak individuals at all. They are often the most thoughtful, caring, and observant people who notice every detail and feel everything deeply. They try incredibly hard not to make mistakes, and that very intensity becomes the source of their suffering. They hold the belief that thinking enough can prevent pain, analyzing thoroughly can eliminate failure, and preparing meticulously ensures nothing bad will ever occur. Life, however, does not operate according to such guarantees. No amount of thinking can provide absolute safety, and no level of analysis can erase uncertainty completely. Deep within, this truth creates fear, because uncertainty feels inherently dangerous to the human mind. The mind craves answers, demands certainty, and seeks total control over outcomes. When it cannot find these elements, it generates endless loops of questions. What if this happens? What if that goes wrong? What if I regret my choice? What if I fail completely? What if they leave me? What if I'm simply not enough? One question multiplies into 10, 10 into 100, and soon a full storm rages inside your thoughts without any clear end. Yet overthinking rarely solves actual problems. Instead, it often serves as a way to avoid uncomfortable feelings. By constantly analyzing situations, you avoid sitting with the discomfort of not knowing. By searching endlessly for answers, you dodge vulnerability. By planning every possible outcome, you refuse to accept that some things remain beyond your control. The mind stays occupied because busyness feels safer than facing uncertainty, even though this safety comes at a heavy cost. The primary cost of overthinking is your presence in the current moment. You gradually stop experiencing life fully and begin merely observing it. From a distance, like standing outside a window, watching others live while remaining trapped in your own thoughts. You might be physically with friends, but your mind wanders elsewhere. During dinner, you replay events from yesterday. While lying in bed at night, you worry about next week. Your body exists here and now, but your attention stays scattered across past regrets and future anxieties. Slowly, the world begins feeling distant and unreal, not because life has disappeared, but because your internal thoughts have grown louder than external reality. One of the saddest aspects of overthinking is that it frequently stems from genuinely good intentions. You care deeply about outcomes. You want things to succeed. You avoid hurting others or being hurt yourself. So you continue thinking, analyzing, and preparing until caring transforms into suffering. Awareness turns into exhaustion, and intelligence becomes a form of self-destruction. A sharp mind offers wonderful gifts when balanced, but without proper boundaries, it can easily become a weapon turned inward against yourself. Every minor mistake starts feeling like undeniable evidence of your flaws. Each rejection appears as proof that you are unworthy. Every uncertainty transforms into an immediate danger. Eventually, you begin trusting your fears more than your actual experiences. This marks the point where overthinking becomes truly harmful. It no longer just causes tiredness, but fundamentally changes how you view yourself and your potential. You stop noticing possibilities and focus only on risks. Opportunities fade from sight while you see only mistakes waiting to happen. Your strengths become invisible as you obsess over what could possibly go wrong. As a result, your life begins shrinking, not because the external world has become smaller, but because fear has grown overwhelmingly larger inside your mind. Right now, You might be waiting for complete certainty before taking any action. You delay until you feel fully ready, until all doubts vanish completely. But what happens if that perfect moment never arrives? What if confidence is not something discovered before taking steps, but something built gradually through action itself? Most people picture courage as living without any fear whatsoever. In truth, courage has never meant feeling completely fearless. Real courage involves moving forward despite the presence of fear. It means taking action even when uncertainty clouds your vision. It requires stepping forward before your mind completes its endless calculations and worries. If you wait for your thoughts to grant full permission, you may end up waiting forever. The most powerful realization that can transform everything is understanding that your thoughts are not always truthful. Just because a thought crosses your mind does not make it factual. Just because your mind predicts disaster does not mean disaster is inevitable. Just because fear speaks loudly does not mean it is correct. Thoughts represent mere possibilities rather than fixed prophecies. Once you internalize this perspective, a profound shift begins to occur naturally. You stop treating every single thought as an urgent emergency. You release the exhausting chase for absolute certainty. You give up trying to control every possible future outcome. Instead, you start embracing life more fully. One step, one decision, and one moment at a time. Of course, you will still experience moments of overthinking because you are human, and it is a natural tendency. The real goal is never to silence your mind permanently. Rather, it is learning to prevent your thoughts from controlling your entire life. It involves recognizing when thinking crosses into suffering, when analysis leads to paralysis, and remembering that life is designed to be actively lived rather than endlessly rehearsed in your head. One day, you may realize something deeply heartbreaking. Many things that stole your peace never actually happened in reality. The painful conversations, imagined disasters, anticipated failures, and worst-case scenarios existed primarily inside your thoughts. All that time spent worrying could have been invested in truly living. Your life is unfolding right now in this present moment, not trapped within tomorrow's fears or yesterday's regrets. The more time you spend lost inside your thoughts, the more precious moments you will miss. Overthinking may promise protection, but it often delivers only distance from joy, peace, and the vibrant life waiting right in front of you. So take that step today. Send the message. Make the decision. Start the new thing. Not because everything feels certain, but because life was never meant to be lived with perfect certainty. It was always meant to be lived with courage. Sometimes the bravest choice is simply to stop overthinking and begin living fully.